Oh baby, 80 years late. It's the week one and week two power rankings. I'm doing them both, even though we're like into week three. Hopefully I can get this done quick and get it up, baby. But production values are low. Will to live is low, so we're just doing this like live kind of weird stuff. So. Um, yeah, I'm just gonna like slowly reveal coaches. I'm not gonna edit this. It's out of control. These are pretty results based. They're still relative to team. It's gonna be annoying once week three starts because I'm gonna have to account for transactions and if people like make trades that I think are bad, it's gonna worsen their rank, but if they still win, then whatever, so stuff like that. So I didn't just do like, oh, the top eight are the teams that won. That's not how you do power rankings. Don't at me. So we're just gonna actually just get right into it. Let's see if I can like do this. It's Dolphin squared and the Red Spark Eagles in last place. So the reason he's in last place is because he forfeited his match. If you don't play, you can't prove you're good. So that's like the worst kind of loss. Had Moki gotten like 6-0 or something, or Brett, then I probably would have like kept them down. But yeah, so Dolphin didn't play like it doesn't mean his team's bad. But I already thought his team was kind of bad. So if he doesn't play and he takes a loss, he hasn't gotten practice with the team. If that makes sense, like maybe he did build, but he couldn't find time to battle. But like the more you play with the team, the better you get a feel for it. Things you see that work together, stuff like that. So he didn't get a chance to do that. So I'm just gonna assume that'll put him on a little bit of a back foot. And that's all you really have to say about this. So next up is Moki. Moki lost. Who did Moki lose to? I don't remember, but he did lose, so that's important. So I'm just gonna keep him where he is. For the most part, if you like prove me right, I'm just gonna keep you where you are. Moki played Sacramento, I believe, because they had like a good battle. So there's the news on that. Yeah, so he played J Law Law. So it wasn't a bad battle by any means, but like the weaknesses of his team did show in his speed tiers and his lack of offense. So I think that's what I said about his team. He had good defense, not good offense. So he wasn't able to really like quote unquote break J Law's team. J Law was able to keep momentum with offense. So Moki's got some room to grow. Maybe he'll make some trades. Maybe he'll get, like I said, get a better feel for the team. I can speak for that, having lost multiple battles now, and despite thinking I had a good team post draft. So that's it. It will be kind of like tipped to like the top teams are obviously teams that won, but obviously like I can't just give the 16th team who like wins their first game like third. It doesn't really make sense. I still think their team is bad, but either they played well with it, their opponent didn't prep right, something like that. There's multiple things to consider. So Mookie stays in 15th. That's so it's not worse, I suppose. So going into 14th is DI Gremlin and the South and Stoutland. Should I just leave my cursor on the screen all the time? That's a good idea. So yeah, Gremlin lost week one, and it wasn't a bad battle, but I think he either got overwhelmed. I think his opponent. I'm gonna try to like avoid saying. I guess you guys know who won. So like if I say like, oh, the number one team ranked from last week won, and I'm just trying to reveal these from bottom to top, then you're gonna know if the top team won, they're probably still in first. But stuff like that. So Diagram, I think he got a little bit out prepped. He didn't even have a bad matchup because I know I helped his opponent prep for this match. But it's just how it goes. If you're low and you lose, you're gonna stay low. He didn't lose a lot. Like I don't. It's not like he got wrecked. Had he gotten wrecked, I might have put him below Moki. But no, it was a 3-0. So he did okay. It's just either weaknesses in his team or weaknesses in his build, or even weaknesses in his play. But I don't remember him playing poorly. So yeah, there's that. So then as we go up, we get Will and the Whitney Meal Tanks. Viva La Pesco. So he also lost, I believe, two. Also, I should actually acknowledge that the San Antonio victory bells are up there because Danny King Bub, whatever. That's not what he doesn't go by that anymore. He was Kill Boom in our servers. Danny dropped and he got replaced by Arky Knight, who is kind of like an NSTL veteran slash PTL. How was he in PTL? I think he was, and then he had to drop. I don't know, but he's been around for a while. He's a cool dude. So yeah, he took over the team and beat Will. You know, I've played Will once, I guess, and I've seen him battle a ton because he's also a veteran of the League series. So yeah, I don't know. It's kind of how I expected. Arky has been up and down as well, so it wasn't like an obvious Will's gonna get bodied, but you know that's just how it goes. Will lost. Same thing as Gremlin. I don't think he played horribly, but he got overwhelmed. I think it was either team building or just a team composition issue, and he goes down. It's that easy. So next up is Joey in the LA Nido Kings. Hold on, I didn't think this through. I have two blocks that I'm moving. Yep. Get it out. Get it out. Okay. So yeah, Joey in the LA Nido Kings. He played, I believe, I can say it at this point, Brett, because he's not on here yet, and lost. I think he played a little poorly. I think he prepped not great. Just seeing the battle, seeing like the team matchups, like I just like freeze framing on the team previews. You wouldn't know like you wouldn't know that Brett got like a very low power ranking. You like I don't know. It's just the matchup did not look good for Joey. Maybe it was just a bad matchup. Like I said, I think me and Mid talked about like Brett's team is like crazy offensive with these huge speed gaps and weird typing and stuff. But like if he has a good offensive matchup, what can you do? You know, like he has that good offense there. I just think the overall composition isn't great. But that doesn't mean it can't win, and that doesn't mean it can't be good if he preps well in the bad matchups and just steamrolls the good matchups. So yeah, I mean that's how it goes. Joey lost. I think another just same thing. Team composition and team help, whatever. I'm just gonna cover. Doesn't make any sense to do it this way. Can I like? I don't know. Okay, so in 13th or 11th, doesn't make sense. Is does it look like that? Help. No, I have to edit that out. So yeah, up in 11th is Brett. So he did win his first battle. I believe it was like a 3-0, something like that. It wasn't a crazy sweep or anything. But of course, I have to put him up reluctantly. He gets a boost just by nature of winning and prepping well or battling well or both. So yeah, he goes up. I can't put it like I said. I can't just put him from 16th to like 8th. That's not really how power rankings work. Like I still think his team's not great, but he moves up. And if he keeps winning, he'll keep moving up. That's basically how it goes. Like if he's 4-0 and two other teams are 4-0 somehow, he'll be in third. Like that's unless the trades have been made or whatever. Like. Because that's like the balancing factor, but he'll have to be up there. I can't just be like, I'm never giving him higher than 7th because I hate his team. I don't hate his team. I just, like I said, I'm trying to be objective because I think his team's like hilarious and still decent. But yeah, that's Brett's story. He's moving up. That's a big +5 compared to all these -1s and stuff. So there you go. And then 10th going up is Spanik in the New York Rangers. He also lost, I believe. Well, I can't say, but he lost 1-0. It was a pretty close battle. But just the way the rankings worked is no one above him no one really, I think, got beat really bad. Honestly think a 3-0 was the best win in week 1. I don't know if there was a 4-0. Like that's how like tight this division has been. Like nobody got. Technically Dolphin did because he quit, or he didn't quit. He forfeited, but like nobody got like beat bad. Because like I would take that into consideration. If you get 6-0, like something went wrong, and if it's either your team or your play with your team, so I'm gonna have to drop you. Like if you're in 10th and someone's in 12th and you get 6-0, then they get 1-0'd, like. You're probably going to be below them next week. That's just how things go. But yeah, so Spanik lost. It was pretty close, if I remember correctly. But he still just barely drops because you can see the missing team that passed him. Can kind of assume what happened there. So we'll just keep moving up. And there's that team. So here's Arcanite. He beat Will in the Whitney Mill tanks. And here's kind of like the thing is, technically, I would like to give him a bigger boost. One, because he inherited Bub's team that I literally had like, retrospection. Like I should have ranked him better, because I gave him 15th and the overall gave him 10th or whatever. But then he took over. I don't know if he made trades immediately or if he made trades over week 2 or what. But he won, and he only gets one boost. And obviously, there are teams above him that must have lost, just based on how this has gone. But I don't know. He inherited the team, and technically, like if I'm going based off of my own power rankings, not the me and mid combined ones that I'm showing here. Like I gave him 15th, so technically this is a +6 in theory if you think about it. So it's just it's how it goes. Like his team's good and other teams are good and didn't lose poorly. So like that's kind of what I'm going by. Like if I give you second and you lose by like 1, I can't drop you all the way to 9th. Like that's kind of crazy. So that's just how it goes. But Arky did win, and he played all right and prepped right. So if he keeps the train rolling, he'll keep moving up. That's how I'm doing this. So I can probably get rid of you. There we go. So in 8th, you can see is Shade in the Calgary Talonflames. So Shade did lose week 1. I didn't really want him to drop him this much, but the way the battles played out and like I said, the closest of them, he does drop 4 places. So Shade had a chance to win his battle. I'll kind of go into more detail. He made a misplay and lost because of it, and it ended up being like a 3-0. But like it could have been like a 3-0 in his favor or 2-0 or something. You know what I mean? Like he easily could have won, and I think he prepped okay. I think he played okay until that moment. But that just kind of shows like what he was going for there. Maybe shows a little bit of just like not like immaturity, but just like he needs to know the team better. The specific mon he misplayed with, he misplayed with Megalodios. I guess I can say that because that doesn't spoil anything. So it's like maybe he needs to get. I don't know if he's used that mon before, stuff like that. Just like misplays are rough, and I think it's probably similar to my situation where it's just like I need to get the team feel a little bit better. Like I said, in theory, like I didn't want to drop him this far, but based on the teams that won, I can't. As much as I say I can't drop a team like 9 places, I can't have a team lose and only drop 1 place and still be above teams that won that were like 1 below it or within like a few. So it kind of giving you an idea of who won and who lost. So up next is Trog and the Vancouver Taboo Canucks. Trog is a very similar situation to Shade. He easily could have won his battle, we think, and he didn't click Ice Shard with Weavile late game, and that's just like it was just like a weird mistake, and it cost him. So he could have won had like I said had either him or Shade lost like bad, like I don't know, had they gotten 4-0'd or something, or just like did something crazy or bad builds, like then Arky probably could have jumped him. But at the same time, since you can see a lot of these like -1 teams still lost. So had any of the teams in like this range also won, it would have been really tough to rank in this section. But they both dropped 4 because they both lost. They both could have won, which is important to note. Like I said, that's kind of why Arky is not above them. But it's things you got to bounce back from. You gotta play right, and like I said, I'm totally sympathetic to making mistakes in battles and missing preps and stuff like that. So we'll just keep going up here. In 6th place is Brandon the Portsmouth. He is the one who received the forfeit win from Dolphin, and this was another weird one. So since Shade and Trog, the Talonflames and Canucks both lost, I couldn't like keep Brandon in the same spot. So like I would love to have kept him in 7th and just been like he got a forfeit, keep him there. But like I would have had to put Trog above him, and despite Trog and Shade being right next to each other the previous week and both losing and both being able to win. I wanted to keep them next to each other because I think that's fair, like for power rankings. So like instead of Brandon just gets a spot. I mean he got a win too, so I think that's probably also fair. It's at least like momentum. It's weird like having that 1-0 cushion. Like I don't think it'll make you play worse or like be like oh I don't don't worry I got my free win. Like I think it's nice to start out with a win even if you didn't earn it. I know he built and everything, so he get some building practice with his team. So that's just how it goes. Or else I would have probably kept him the same because it's like you didn't play. But I don't know. So next up is Ian and the Surrey Stingers. So he's the one who played Trog and who probably might have lost had Trog clicked the right move. I don't remember the details, so I'm not going to say for sure what would have happened. I think it would have given him a chance at the very least. So Ian, it was a very close win, but he moves up because he won. Like that's how it goes. I ranked him fourth technically in my own personal ones for the week 0. So the fact that like he is still technically lower because of the after effects of mid. I'm just going by the ranks that we did for week 0. I'm not going to change them on to my own and then put Ian in third or whatever because he was in fourth. It's just like it's kind of weird. I mean, I could have done that honestly because like in theory I do think his team is better than some of the teams above him because of that. But I'll keep him there for now. But basically you can know that you could switch Ian. Like a lot of these top teams are basically switchable because they're all 1-0 and they all have decent teams because they were all ranked pretty high in the first place. Stuff like that. So in fourth is gonna be the Leuven Larvitars. Blood Crawler won his match against Shade. So Shade, he won technically on a misplay, but they both played and prepped well, and he put himself in that position to win, and he capitalized on the misplay. He could have like further messed up or something weird like that. So he does move up a couple spots. Like I said, I mean you could put Ian in front of him because I had Ian ahead of him week 0, but mid brought him down, stuff like that. So like these next 3 are all kind of intermingle, and I don't know. So yeah. So the blood won with his team that he still thinks is bad, that I still think is decent, but is also like probably a little trickier to build with. Like I think it's winnable, but you just have to build right. As opposed to it's bad, but a good build could save you. I think it's good, but you have to build right every week to really like tap its full potential. Basically, I don't know. So whatever. Up in third is the Sacramento Sandshrews. That's J Law. He was the one who beat Moki. He beat a low team in the power rankings. I don't really. Maybe later in the season if there's somebody who's just 1-6, 0-7, and a team beats them, that might come into play. How much I really would be willing to give them. But he won and he prepped and he played, so that's good enough to pass the 2 teams above you that were just above you and lost. I think that's fair. So then in second is Poiple Charlie and the Shanghai Dragons. She beat Spanik. It was a close game, but I would say she played in prep 1-1 and she has a good team, so she's gonna stay where she is, and that'll also flow into first place is David Ryan in the Dynamo Bucharest. He's the one to beat Gremlin. I helped him prep because I wanted to prove myself right by putting him in first. It's like partially true, but like obviously like we're buddies, so like I'll help him prep anyways. He asked. It wasn't like I was like, hey buddy, you want me to help you? Like it wasn't that devious. But he asked and I gave the help, and I think it did help because I beat him in the mock we did. So take that as you will, Gremlin. There was a winnable matchup in theory. But yeah, so the top 2 teams, they both won. They're both close games. Like I said, had Charlie 6-0'd Spanik, and David won by like a skin of his teeth. I might have put Charlie in first, but they were both decently close games. So that's just how it goes. So that'll do it for the week 1 rankings. I'm just gonna like splice in the week 2 rankings, but I'm not gonna record them right now because I have to go to work. So these will probably go up in a couple days. This timeline doesn't mean anything to you because you don't even know when this is recorded. So whatever. Thanks for watching up to this point. We'll see week 2 in a second, and I'll do the exact same thing, and it'll be a sloppy mess. But I don't care. So I guess it's not goodbye. I'm not ending the video. I'm just ending this recording session. Oh, you thought it was done? You thought you could stop me? Just kidding. The video length obviously would have shown that the video is still going. Okay, so here's the week 2 rankings. Fuck it, I don't care. Just be happy you're getting them. So I don't I was gonna do like a recap, but it's the same video. I do the recap for myself. You can see it. It's on the screen. So yep. Let's go right in. This one probably week 2 is gonna be the most results based of the season because essentially anyone who's 0-2 has had enough time to lose spots and get to the bottom like third. Anyone who's 1-1 has kind of settled in, and anyone who's 2-0 has obviously earned their spot at the top. So it probably is going to be all the 2-0s, all the 1-1s, and all the 0-2s. I'm not gonna put the standings up or anything, but maybe I could start doing that. Maybe we could have a column for record. That'd be smart. I'll do that later because that's easy enough to add. But yeah, so this is how it goes. Going forward, it'll be play and teams and stuff like that. Like a 2-1 and a 1-2 probably wouldn't be like switched, but like the worst 1-1 and the best 2-0 now. Wait, that doesn't make sense. I don't know. Shut up. So in last place is poor little old Moki and the Golden City Gardevoirs. Drops to 0-2, lost to Wish I Could Tell Ya. I'll have to actually pause and figure it out. Well, I guess that's fitting. I can actually say this one. He lost to the Red Spark Vikavolts, who was the one below him. So the bottom 2 PR teams played, and Moki lost. So I mean that's just like guaranteed last place. Sorry, buddy. I do not remember that battle happening at all. I don't know if I watched it, which is probably like an important thing I should be doing if I'm doing power rankings. But yeah, I mean you can't. He's 0-2. He has bad speed tiers. He has a weird team. Still, I'm not saying he can't do well with it. I'm not saying I think he's bad. But obviously, like you can only account for your team so much. And an 0-2 start is rough. So we'll see. Go forward. He gets a good win. He brings it back. Obviously there's room for improvement. There's room for good trades. And I don't remember what the trades are. So that's actually I can check. Oh, we put the week next to trades on the sheet, so I can actually like see when trades were made. Because if I'm doing the week 3 and it's middle of week 4 and people are making trades, whatever, you know what I mean. So yeah, Monkey's in last because he's 0-2 and he started in 15th. So yeah, he's obviously the 14th and 16th teams have won at least one game by now. So we go there. Now in 15th is DI Gremlin and South End Stoutlands. Very similar situation to Moki. He was in 13th and has lost 2 straight. So that'll get you into 15th. He said he had the weird Necrozma Megalatios, I believe, thing going on. And, he lost again. I don't quite remember who he lost to. Let me check. I actually totally should have known, but I'll go over that later. I'm not gonna say who he lost to or 1-2 now. Wait, what? Fuck. But just for my future reference. So you lose 2 in a row. It was a 1-0 for him though, so it wasn't like it was a 3-0 and a 1-0 loss, I believe, for Gremlin. It had to have been because none of the week 1 games were worse than a 3-0. So it's not like he's doing awful. Neither of them are. I think Moki got 3-0 this week, so it's not like either of them are any worse than minus like 6 or 7 at this point. Well, I don't think it can be 7, so minus 6 is probably the worst they could be. Whatever. So next up is the Whitney Mill Tanks. You didn't see that color. Yeah, that's Will. Exact same situation as Gremlin. Lost 2 in a row, but I still like based on the power rankings, I thought his team was a little bit better. So if their standings are the exact same, then all I really have to go on is either the team or whether or not I think they got like hacked out and like otherwise played and prepped perfectly. So yeah. However, Will was one of the first 5-0s, so he lost pretty bad, but I actually had him in 9th in my power rankings, I believe. I think I was the one who had him higher up. So I still think his team's better, and he exists. So he may actually be in last place in the standings, but it's by a couple differential points. It's not a huge deal. So we'll just continue on here. 13th, we'll see who it is because I don't remember. Oh, it's Spanik and the New York Rangers. So yet another 0-2 team. So obviously he didn't drop much after losing the first week because it was a close game. And there wasn't like a ton of people below him that won and all that. But he's lost two in a row. So anyone below him who's won a game, basically, you know, if you can prove you can win without just like it being a total farce, you know, like basically it's like you're down 5-1 and they literally miss like three moves and you win or something like that, like something stupid, you know. That could be a saving grace for someone with two losses and someone with one win, but not in this case. Spanik lost to, wish I could tell you. I think I actually know. I think he was the other 5-0. Let me check. Hey, I know things. So yeah, he was the other 5-0, so that'll drop him as well. But considering all these teams are basically 0-2 ranked by team right now, yeah, Spanik got crushed. But there's a little bit of factor into these 5-0s that maybe they could have dropped further but didn't, that I could explain in a bit. So holding up the rear is Shade and Calgary Town Flames. I must be the last coach with two losses. So you know, I liked his team starting out, and he could have beaten Blood. So you know, I try not to drop him too much. But then he lost two. I wish I knew any of these battles that happened. Who the hell did Shade play? I did know who he played. Okay. I was remember at the last second. So yeah, Shea played a decent team. I don't think it wasn't. I think it was another close one. I think I just checked right now, and if my brain works, it was a 2-0. So it wasn't horrible. I think. I don't remember the details honestly, but he just didn't win. So you know, here are your 0-2 teams ranked by you know, their team comps basically. So any of these could switch around. You know, even, I'll have to see. I think going forward from here, I mean trades depending too. If like all of these teams, I don't know. I don't know if they play each other. So like, but say all these teams go to 0-3, I'll probably go more by result of the battle, because by week 3 it's kind of like a better idea of your team and stuff like that. So like, even, you know, if I thought their team was bad, but they're like, and they are doing bad, but then there's a team whose team I thought was good and they're doing worse, then like, you know, I can't just say like, oh, their team's still decent. I mean, I can, but I don't know. I'll have to see. That's all hypothetical anyways, whatever. So in 11th is Dolphin Squared and the Red Spark Vikovolt. So like I said, he did beat Moki. So you know, he forfeited week 1, didn't get to play, and then he beat, like, you know, who I had as the second worst team above him. So obviously, out of the 1-1 teams, he's going to be the lowest, but that's still a 5-point jump. So you know, like, he proved he can win a battle. I don't remember it being super hacksy. You know, I like said earlier, I don't think I watched it. Probably should have, but whatever. So I don't think he like hacked him out or just like built stupid and got lucky or anything like that, or just like made bad plays that worked because they were so bad. Anything like that. I think he just won a game. So the fact that he could win a game with a team that I didn't think was great, is fair enough to get him a jump above the 0-2 teams. And that's about it. Maybe I should watch that game, get a better idea of these coaches. So whatever. Ahead of him is gonna be Joey and the LA Nido King. So he did win against I think one of the 1-0 teams. Must have been. God. Yep. So the thing that's about this, that he didn't jump up more, despite beating what would have had to have been like a pretty high seed, is that there were better teams that did better and were either like brought down, or his battle wasn't like a crazy mega win, from what I can remember. There may have even been hacks, but I don't remember. So you know, he's just like he did win, so he deserves to be boosted a little bit, but I didn't see anything crazy that was like, oh, he's back in it, baby, because he started in 11th, so he's already at 1-1 above where he started, whereas there could very well be 1-1 teams who are below where they started. So this is the thing, Joey's doing all right. We'll see week 3. 1-1 is not a bad place to be in at all. Yeah, coming from the guy who started both my previous seasons in this league chain at 1-1. So next up is Ian in the Surrey Steering. So he has a bit of a drop just by the way the teams moved around. So Ian lost to I guess I can say because you haven't seen the team yet. He lost to Brett. So Brett was in 11th last week. He's obviously not in 11th this week. So it means he had to have won. So Ian did lose to Brett. He didn't drop 4 because that's such a terrible thing to lose to Brett. It's just how, I think they matched up. And, it's just kind of the thing I'm doing. And maybe his team's not as good as I thought. Because I thought it was a very well-rounded team. So, in theory, a well-rounded team should be able to handle a hyper-offense team. So he either prepped poorly or played poorly or whatever. So, just issues that obviously he can come back from. He's lower than he started, but he's still 1-1. So that's why like week 2 is probably the weakest rankings because you almost it's very difficult not to put a 1-1 team above a 2-0 team or to put a 1-1 team below an 0-2 team. It's just it seems very structured. So that's just how it goes. Ian drops and that's that. So up in 8th place is Blood Crawler and the Leuven Luvitars. This great system I'm using. So he also lost and dropped 4 places. He lost to, I guess I can't say it yet, but he lost 3-0, I believe. Wasn't anything crazy, but he just got overwhelmed defensively. So he has a very offensive team, but his offense wasn't able to break the opposing team's defense. So, that's one of those things where hyper offense just kind of failed because he just didn't have the power to break through and he didn't quite make the right plays. So, gets boosted, drops. He's 1-1 lower than he started, but it's just how it goes. Had worse teams lost, had better teams won. I mean, he could be in the same spot, but he's all these 1-1 teams are still in it. It's just I'm really just going off practically. It's like record sorted by who I had up previously. So in 7th is the Sacramento Sandshrews J Law. He's the one who lost to Joey, so he's gonna drop. It's pretty straightforward, but these 3 teams all lost. So they all just dropped the same amount of places above each other. They all go to 1-1 because none of those games were crazy bad. The one against I think J Law Joey was a 1-0, something like that, 2-0. I don't know. There was only 2. There were 2 5-0s this week. The rest were, I believe, 3-0 and lower again. So still a pretty tight division with a couple of standout battles this week. But so these 3 teams, they just dropped because they lost, and keeping them sorted by how they were in the beginning. It's a really straightforward system so far. So in 6th is freaking Brett's broken square that has this white border line instead of a black one that I didn't fix over here either. So Brett beat Ian. So he's gonna move up into the bottom of the 2-0 teams. Wait, no, he's not even. There's not even. Okay, so he's 2-0 and is below 1-1 teams. Simply because I'm a dick and I hate him, and he's still went up 16th. So I'm holding on to that. I still think his team is not well rounded by any means. That's the worst I'll say about it. Is just it is not well rounded. I won't say anything bad about it because not well rounded doesn't necessarily mean bad. Obviously he's 2-0 with it, so it's working for him. He's doing well. So I think plus 10 in 2 weeks from last is pretty good. And if he wins again, like I said, if he goes 3-0 and there's no other 3-0 team, he gets the top spot. That's how it'll go. If you hold me by it. If he wins week 3 and any other undefeated team does not win, he gets the first spot. So in 3 weeks he'll go from last to first, and it'll be a great achievement. Congratulations. Whatever. I'm just kidding. So yeah, above Brett is gonna be oh shit, you didn't see that. Is gonna be Trog and the Vancouver Canucks simply because he was in third and he lost week 1 and dropped quite a bit. So he did win. I have to put him back up, and it was a pretty decent win. He was the one who beat Gremlin, and it was a very well played match, a very well prepped match. So I just remember like I know he actually did these battles out of order, which was kind of like an issue with this. So I knew when he lost to Ian over a mistake that he was 1-1 with a positive differential and could have very easily been 2-0, but it happened backwards. So in theory, he started 0-1 over a dumb mistake and dropped a bit, and now he won again, and could very easily have been 2-0. Ian could have been 0-2, would have been rough. So that's just how it goes. I put him above Brett just because of that. Had he just like lost outright, I could probably have justified putting Brett above him based on like the week 1 result. But I think Trog's still in it enough that he deserves that spot. So above Trog is the San Antonio Victory Bells Arcanite, having replaced Danny. This one he gets a big boost for because he beat Shade, who has a decent team and is Shade. So it's not like, oh, he beat Bubsy, whatever. I was gonna say a famous like battler. He beat Envy. That's like the only one I know. So no offense to Shade. I don't think like getting compared to Envy is like that big of a insult. But since I wasn't able to give him a lot of growth last week, just by the way I think things worked out, he earned a bigger boost this week, going to 2-0, obviously. Making some transactions that I think came into play this week because he got replacement transactions for week 2. I think he must have because he started week 1. But it was the end of week 1, so I don't know. I can double check on those. But all I know is that he made decent trades, and he's definitely working with the team well. So that'll certainly earn him a 4th spot. And also like that was the original team that I thought I should have rated like maybe like 8th instead of 15th like I did, which doesn't make sense. Okay, so above him, obviously in 3rd, it's going to be Brandon and Portsmouth. So he was the one who beat Bloodcrawler, like I said, with that like defensive showdown. It was a very good build. I know like him and Greyjack in D1, they like build together a lot. So like Gray gives them help, but obviously it's like it doesn't matter. Like someone could hand me a good team like week 1, and I could still lose with it. Like a winning team and lose with it. So he played very well. He got a lot of 50-50s right that Blood got wrong. I'm not saying that if it's a 50-50, it doesn't necessarily mean it's skill, unless like he had the perfect justification that also the other person thought. Because it's one thing if it's basically a coin flip and the other person just goes like, I went for this, and you go, oh, I knew you would go for that because you thought this, and then they just, no, I just kind of picked it, like because that's what it was out on a gut feeling. That doesn't make you good because you got it right if your other person picked randomly. But if you go, oh, I thought you would think this, and you went this way, and they were like, I did, then you're smart. It was an extremely vague, like nonsense thing to say, but you kind of get what I'm talking about. So yeah, he played well. He's 2-0. I know he does have like a forfeit win, but he's 2-0 with a decently well-rounded team that I still think has some holes, but he hasn't faced a team that could poke those holes yet. So that'll get him into a nice 3rd. Brandon in 3rd. Everyone else is fine with it. Brandon's like, I can't believe it. That's my Brandon impression, even though he's from the UK. It also is not like a cartoon character, but that's fine. So in 2nd place, who would have guessed? It's Popo Charlie and the Shanghai Dragon. So she was one of the 5-0s. She 5-0'd Spanic, even though I think I remember it not like actually being 5. No, she didn't 5-0 Spanic. She faced in week 1. Who did she 5-0? There were 2, and I'm a brain. Of course, she 5-0'd Will. I don't remember what really happened. I think Will just got a little bit overwhelmed, maybe a little bit out-prepped, maybe a little bit outplayed. It was just like 3 points of attack. Like he didn't get destroyed or swept or whatever. Like Charlie just played well and built well and did well. So yep. So 5-0 will obviously keep her in 2nd place since. I said there's been 2 5-0s, and I didn't say who the other 5-0 winner was. But obviously it's showing off that her team is basically as good as I thought it was, and that'll also obviously bring us to 1st place, David Ryan and the Dynamo Bucharest. He hasn't corrected me on that, but whatever. So yeah, that's a 5-0 win for the Dynamo over Hispanic and the New York Rangers. So I don't know, I didn't help him with this one. He just went to town and won and did well with his good team. So that'll happen. They both David and Charlie won week one. David with a 3-0, Charlie with a 1-0, and then they both won week two 5-0. So there's really no wiggle room for me to switch them around at all. There's no wiggle room for me to put any other 2-0 coach above them. No, they're in first and second, and they're really in like first and first. But since like David literally just has the better differential and whatever arbitrary point system I had in the beginning gave him the better team score, so he stays in first place. There's been a lot of changing. Obviously, I thought like I expected like my week one power rankings to be like the first five are 2-0, and then the next five are 1-1, the next six are 0-2, and I'm a genius and I haven't had to change anybody. Like it obviously it doesn't make sense. Because obviously teams change and results happen. So, but it feels nice to have put the top two teams in top two and have them, do stuff. have them be 2-0 and doing well. And, like obviously the power rankings in week 0 were independent of the coach. And now I'm factoring the coach's ability to use their team and all that and do this. But it feels good that that they're still doing well, that they're able to use the teams that I thought were good. You know what I mean? So it's not that like I was right that their teams are good and they're getting carried, but it's that like, oh, they have good teams and they're using them, which is nice because you would hate to see somebody with a team that's like really cool or good and then they're just 0-2 and then they trade it all away. Am I referencing something? You tell me. So that'll do it for the week one and week two rankings. Oh, I didn't change week one, week two. Maybe I can do that in post. it's like right here. Meant to do that and I forgot. So yeah, so lots of big swings. Obviously, like Brett, probably the biggest. If not, yeah, it's a 2-5s in a row. No one else got that at all. There wasn't even a 5 change in week one. But the big ones, Arky's gone up there. A couple of teams that like Shade, we gave him a good team, and he hasn't quite been able to get results with it yet. But we'll see where it goes. And yeah, that'll do it for this. I don't know. Thanks for watching. Let me know if you're like mad about your spot, because like I don't know. I think I was pretty fair. Maybe some people think like their win was very good and they deserved a bigger boost and stuff like that, and maybe they're not wrong, but it's all relative to other coaches, so it doesn't matter like, oh, like you had a great battle that like it was a bad matchup and you barely eked out a win, but there's just a team with a better team that has done as well or better than you, like it's just how it goes. And I know, obviously, especially for week two, I didn't remember all the details of the battles as well. I think I've been kind of like skimming results rather than watching them because of time constraints and all that, so it's fine. But again, thanks for watching, and I'll see you next week for a smaller, a shorter, whatever video, because I won't do two at once, hopefully.